I mean, okay, I can give you, okay, I have a good one, okay.
Agreed.
So my friend bought a nightclub, okay, like he started running a nightclub, but the problem was the kind of people just came there for a drink. There was no sexual energy in a club, okay. Like people, it's like fancy place, come there for a drink, to be seen, and and see who's there in a scene, but nothing was happening. So like he asked me, he knew basically I was like working a lot on the game and thing. And so basically what we did, I start playing with, because actually I mastered sexual escalation and how you can actually control it. I think being a man, you are responsible for many things, and one of the things is basically sexual energy basically in a relationship and in a dating. When you meet a girl, your job is basically to, just like you're playing with level of trust, level of connection you have with a girl, you should be playing as well with how much of sexual energy there is between two of you, how turn on sexually she is, okay? So I think I went crazy for like 2 years on the whole figuring out how the whole sexual energy works, and how can I control it when I approach a girl, and what can I do to make her panties wet and to get her thinking about me. So like that was my thing for like I think for a year and almost 2 years. So the word spread around. So a friend of mine calls me and he's like, Dan, I have problem with sexual energy in my club. I want to kind of boost it up somehow. What do I do? Okay. So what we did, we put, it was funny, like, I put couples, fake couples around the club. Okay. Like, and at midnight, they'll start kissing, start kind of grabbing, kind of very like, kind of aggressively sexually. And what happened? It start affecting the whole nightclub. So people start kind of dancing and kissing. And basically, I realized actually you can create an orgy without any problem. It's just the number of people and what people do in front of other people. Like insane, really, like, like insane things what you can do, like, with people's energy, and basically play and control, like combining music and slowly, like how, what people were doing around, discreetly start kissing, slowly start touching, kind of like just, it's like a wave that affects everybody around. Really interesting. I mean, it's not that crazy, but like for me, it was like, wow, like, you can do this, And
Yeah,
then,
that's
yeah,
pretty crazy.
yeah, I did the whole spiel on basically on dirty talk. And that was kind of my thing. Like after that's what most people, they don't know. They think the reg game is only like, okay, the opener. You see the girl, you open as basically the reg game has many stages. One of them is basically is making a girl sexually turned on to you. Okay. And most of the methods, most of the games, from what I see, from what I remember, they're based off basically in the game, talking with a girl, basically. Now, not about relationship, but when you are seducing a girl, there are two basic energies you're playing with. And all techniques pretty much fall into these two energies. One is creating a comfort, creating this kind of connection, commonalities, trust, more like, creating a friendship. Okay. We're on the same page. We understand each other. We have lots of things in common, finding commonalities, like, you talk about, so she's like, creating this kind of, wow, I like this guy. Okay. Second energy that kind of you are playing with is the sexual energy. That's kind of attraction. That's kind of really like, the whole escalation is all about. And this, basically what you are doing in a game, is pretty much all the techniques, all the PUA techniques fall into these two energy, fall into this, either building one or another one. Pretty much you have basically, it's three things. You are opening a girl, you're building comfort, you're building sexual energy, tension. And that's kind of what really part of the whole direct game, being a man. You want to basically to play with that sexual, and you want to be like, okay, will this girl be turned on or not? It's not, is it written in stars, or like, hoping it's gonna happen. It's like, you can do stuff There's, you can do stuff in the bedroom. You can do stuff like, to turn a girl on. Okay. How? Left ear, dirty talk. Pretty much all the girls are audio types. There's some kinesthetic, of course, like, but like, they're, kind of, they're all, like, the easiest way really it is like, dirty talk. Like, so while you are talking, actually, I'm not sure, do you know, but basically, right, left hemisphere of the brain and how it's distributed our body. Basically, right hemisphere of the brain controls left part of the body. Left hemisphere of the brain controls, it goes in X. Probably you know it from the, from the surgery.
Yeah, exactly. So her tumor was on the left side of the brain, so her right part of the body was affected.
Yeah. So basically, and then like, what each hemisphere is doing is different. Okay, like, so because of my injury, I was like, kind of learning a lot about it. And then I discovered lots of brain hacking stuff. And I discovered basically that everything you whisper in the left ear, it bypasses under the logic, and it basically goes into emotional part of the brain. So all dirty talk, all sexual content, when you're in a nightclub, it should go to the left ear. Okay, so you start slow. So what basically so I created. Now we're gonna go really deep. I'm not sure how much time do we have. You have time? This is gonna be very interesting. Okay.
How much time do you have? I got all the time.
My girl is sleeping, so I'm okay here with you.
Let's do it.
Go white stuff. Okay. So girls girls can multitask. They can think. They are really good at multitasking. Do you know why? You probably know that. Like, they can think about multiple things at the same time.
Probably as an evolutionary adaptation of taking care of a child.
Partially. Their brain is wired differently. Basically, there is a perpetual that's connecting, like, hemispheres of the brain. Okay, we have one, or I think we have two, this kind of like data points where basic hemispheres are connected. They have like 8. So they have like, kind of way more connection and flow of data between left and right hemisphere, okay? Which is evolutionary next step, which allows them to multitask. I remember one girl that I was dating, she told me, she was Yelena, her name was like, and I remember that like yesterday. She was like, Dan, I can, at the same time, I can have this conversation. I can open another window and I can think at the same time about what I need to buy in the fridge in a supermarket. I can as well, like, kind of start working on my homework. So basically, they can do what any computer can do. You can open a tab and play. You basically open a YouTube. Next tab, you can open a Google Docs. Next tab, you can open some. This is what they can do. What our brain cannot do. We are single task, monotask, and whole world is created from the monotask thing. Okay. So what I did, I'm like, okay, so this is how you think. So I sat down and I designed the game, basically seduction for that. So basically what I do, let's say this is kind of more kind of clubbing game. What I do, like in a club, basically direct game for the club version. How can you turn on any woman within 20 minutes and get her panties wet? This is what I usually quote, but usually what I teach on my one-on-one clients, and it's kind of exclusive, but I'm gonna give it to you here, okay? So what you do is, since they can think about multiple things at the same time. Just this is the starting point, okay? So let's design a game for that. So what you do, every couple of minutes, you open a new topic. Okay, you're talking about the music, but every second topic is sexual. Okay, so you open a tab, you play some Google document. Next tab is a Pornhub. Next tab, you talk about travel. Next tab, Pornhub. So sexual, non-sexual, sexual, non-sexual, sexual. And this is how conversation goes, okay? So how does this looks like? You talk about music, what kind of music she likes, and then after, like, let's say 3 minutes, you whisper to her, what, we are talking about the music, but your legs, they're driving me crazy. Can't stop thinking about them. But anyway, you like to travel, you change topic. And then you're like, let's say on the end of that topic, you open a new one. Basically, what I'm doing is creating images, sounds. Basically, I'm creating images and video clips of two of us having sex without me saying it. So basically, being a gentleman about it. So, for example, you know what? When I look at your ass, for the good line, you know, when I look at your legs, my blood is going to all wrong places, baby. You didn't said dick, you didn't said erection, but she had in her mind picture of your dick without you saying it. And slowly, and this is how you're seducing her. Of course, this is just the verbal part. There's a non-verbal as well. But what you're doing after 15 minutes of this, I guarantee you with my life, this girl will start thinking about having sex with you. And her panties will be wet if you do it correctly. And there is no way out.
Damn, guys in the comments are going to go crazy. Come back to this video and let us know how it goes, guys.
Oh, yeah, this went crazy.